My nominee for the molecular villain of the year is sarin. Sarin is a synthetic organophosphorus toxin with the formula C4H10FO2P. For the physical characteristics, it has a melting point of negative 56 degrees Celsius, a boiling point of 158 degrees Celsius, and complete solubility in water. For the chemical characteristics, it has a volatility of 21,900 milligrams per cubic meter at 25 degrees Celsius, is extremely toxic, and is non-flammable. Sarin is a chiral molecule and is also racemic, and in this picture you can see sarin's two enantiomers on the right that combine to make the sarin that is commonly used. Now, to get into why I believe sarin should be the molecular villain of the year, I'm going to talk about the history of it. So, in 1938, Nazi scientists were trying to make a new pesticide that specifically targeted weevils when, by accident, they instead made one of the most toxic molecules known to man, sarin. So, just to give a little description about what sarin does to someone if they're exposed to it, they can experience loss of consciousness, intense convulsions, paralysis, and most commonly, respiratory failure that often leads to a very painful death. It's extremely volatile, which means that it presents an immediate threat that can cause death within minutes, but because it is colorless, tasteless, and odorless, most people don't know they're exposed until it's too late. This picture on the right shows Nazi scientist Gerhard Schrader, who was the main scientist that contributed to the discovery. And when the German army heard of his discovery, they called for the mass production of it, and by the end of World War II, Nazi Germany had produced 12,000 tons of sarin. However, it was never actually used because Hitler himself was too scared to use it. In the 1950s, the US started producing and stockpiling sarin as well for military purposes up until 1997 when the UN Chemical Weapons Convention called for the complete destruction of all stockpiled sarin in the UN. At the time, there was about 15,000 tons of stockpiled sarin in the UN, and as of now, 89% of that has been destroyed. So, like I mentioned before, sarin is a synthetic organophosphate and is classified as a nerve agent. Nerve agents work by blocking the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which in the body just translates to all of the muscles spasming very violently, which again leads to respiratory failure because the lung muscles are unable to expand and contract properly, which leads to a scary death. Of the nerve agents, sarin belongs to the G series class that includes tabun, soman, and cyclosarin. These were all made by German scientists, which is why they're called G series. This class is the first and oldest family of the nerve agents and is also the most deadly. Sarin is also classified as a chemical weapon of mass destruction. Now, getting into all the times it's been used since its creation, there are only 4 confirmed times in history that sarin has been used, each time being for murder. The first time it was used was in 1988 at the end of the Iran-Iraq War, where Iraqi aircraft spread sarin gas over a Kurdish town, killing over 5,000 people. The second time was in 1995 when the Japanese doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo released sarin into a Tokyo subway, killing 12 and injuring over 6,000. And the third and fourth times were in 2013 and 2017 by the Syrian regime and killed 1,500 people, including about 400 children. So really nothing good has come out of using it. So to close on why I believe sarin should be the molecular villain of the year, I really don't know what else to say that I haven't already said. It was made by Nazis and was so powerful and deadly that even Hitler was too scared to use it. It's only been used for the murder of thousands of people. It causes a painfully violent death, and the UN has called for its complete destruction. And this is why I think sarin should be the molecular villain of the year. Thank you.